any other questions about the organizational chart? Yes.
Business structure has, the bill, she said, cost. Having it trace it down, but doing your business structure is good to.
Yeah, that's actually a great question. Let me tell you, one of the first times I ever did my LLC, they asked for all of this. They don't do it anymore. They just want to know who's the person filling out that form. And then on top of that, LLC, you don't have to have articles of incorporation. I'm like, they started doing that. I mean, it does it digitally online now. I had to go down to the sloppy Ford building, do all this other stuff, get the seal, and get it notary and all that stuff too. By the way, if you've never been a notary, it costs like $30, $40. But yeah, check out becoming a notary. Seriously, really, everybody in here should be one. You go down to the city hall, show them your ID, get 3 people say you're good. Oh, okay, yeah, she was asking, as far as the C-suite and the organizational chart, it was similar to what she was saying. Even if you don't already have those people in place, this, and again, we're not expecting you to flip the coin over overnight, right? So it's a mindset, and it's thinking like a CEO is really what it is. And that's why we were saying think like a boss and a manager. Because for now, you're gonna feel more like a manager at times, maybe you don't work right now in the beginning. But the ideal thing is think like a CEO. Like I said, Bill Gates' book, Business of the Speed of Thought. The 2 things that always stood out for me, he was like, if you're not thinking internationally, you And then he said, if you wake up in the morning, he said his very first thing he does every morning is check on his competition. He's like, I know what my business did. I know what my business did last night. But I don't know what my competitor did last night. This is a global economy. It's nighttime over there, it's daytime over here. In other words, money is 24 hours. It don't sleep. So, and trust me, there's a firm somewhere trying to figure out how to eliminate what you do. So, it is what it is, but it's about market share. It's find the right market share, making the difference between having a $100,000 salary and a $10 million salary. That's just the reality of it. So, kind of get this mindset.
He said, what, if you're not thinking international,
he said, if you're not thinking about international, you're already behind. He was like, you're already dead. He was like, because you're competing now in this global how many people? 7.2. I looked it up last week. I'll tell you that. There's 7.2 people in the 2 billion people in the world. China right now is struggling a little bit. Japan trying to come out of this recession and doing some other stuff. But Japan has invested their entire infrastructure, just about the entire infrastructure in robotics. Right? Technically, self-driving cars are robots. They're technically all robots. That's all I mean. It's kidding yourself if you're not starting to pay attention to this stuff. And if you got kids, just slowly slip in here and there. That's why I got Papa Mac and Papa Side. My daughter, literally, she gets very sick. So, she probably got too far. She's like, I like the magazine on the great.
I was just saying, like, when they work, they can make money in service, things like they want senior citizens to come down to Georgia, I forgot where I went, they were testing how would you like a robot face to look. All kinds of things, what do you want the robot to do for you and all that.
Because in the hospital, they're starting to do medications, they're starting to do all the reading vitals and everything else. It is. She said, sounds like the Jetsons. Oh, it is. Think about the smart watches, everything else. And then on top of that, they got, literally, you now got the hovering, the hovering boards and all that stuff. Oh, this real. Why would, if a drone can pick up a 150-pound package and deliver it, and weigh 150 pounds, it ain't gonna be long before a drone picks you up and drops you off. So I'm telling you, I'm working on it right now. Seriously, I made serious trying to say, yeah.
So I'm still stuck on the system because I'm exactly at that point like do you think it's a good idea if you find somebody that has the skills of like some of us in this room that we exchange services? Do you think it's a good idea to partner or like say they get a percentage of the company or something in exchange for their
Can everybody hear? Because this is good. You might stand up and say that. Yes. Exactly.
I'm saying that people like that have small businesses or have a great idea and they want to put somebody in place of all this position. And some of us, all of us in here, have a skill set that's fall under either one of them. I was asking if it's a good idea to partner up and let's say the person, instead of paying the money to her, they get a percentage of the idea or.
Yeah. I love it. I'll tell you, the easiest, what she's saying in essence is, you want to give up ownership, you want to share, but you don't want to easy way to sometimes get some of these people. You said, you what? Volunteer, that's part of it too, yeah, because it's reciprocated, right? But sometimes you have barter, and then sometimes it's easy saying, are you willing to be on my advisory board? I love giving advice, right? And, so I think every year Warren Buffett does an auction. Y'all know who Warren Buffett is, right? The second wealthiest man in the world, but they flip back and forth between Howard, Slim, and one other. And Bill Gates. But they have an auction every year to have lunch together. Huh? Yeah, but see, it's all about value. I'm saying concentrate on the value that you're going to exchange. And now that you're thinking about it, I got some drawings and stuff that I'll try to figure out. Because you'll be surprised. Everybody in there is a hidden gem. That's the reality of it. And so if you put that in the right place, it's amazing. To give you an idea, for the longest time in Greece and Rome and all that stuff, this little black stuff was pulled up out of the ground and they used it to make lamps, right? Had no idea that was oil. In other words, it's the timing of it, the application of it. So depending on what you're doing, you'll be surprised where it'll take you.
Here's a suggestion. I don't know how we can actually make this work, but there's a group of people when you're exchanging services, you get credits. So
Yeah.
you are bars, people, IT services. Within your own group, you generate credits. So I may not need your direct services, but I need theirs.
Yeah.
So if I go to the market, you put it on your credits.
If you can't on this, let me tell you what you just recommended. Because no, that's actually a website. That's a couple of websites that what she was saying is that exchange of services and you get credits. I think it's barter.com. I think there's a barter.com, something like that, where you can, just as she's saying, you can exchange services for you. Everything that you need. Yep. They call it the shared economy. Uber, Airbnb. Somebody called me yesterday and was like, my tenant moved out. Dude, I said, go on Airbnb. Y'all know what Airbnb is?
Yeah.
Airbnb is a shared, like you can share a room in your house with somebody. You get paid, right? So, Airbnb. I think it's like literally A-I-R. The letter B is in boy, N is in Nancy, B is in boy. Airbnb. Companies got this in 100 and some countries. It's worth like $35 billion just now.
Federal government expects you to have a track record in something before they give you a contract. Majority of us don't have that, so we got to depend on teams, AAs, and hub zones.
Love it.
And connect with the women and vets and be subcontractors, right? Before you get a contract, before the money comes in from the federal government, you got to live off your savings.
Yeah, well, you know what, yes. And we're exploring the SBA loan. And I want to make sure everybody heard what you said, because that's no serious about it. Did everyone hear what you said? Yeah, so they can hear you back.
The federal government, if you try to get a contract, they expect you to have a track record in it. The majority of people don't. So we got to think of teaming, 8A, hub zones, connect with women and vets, because they have advantages. And then we'll get the certifications, which will help. But we got an obstacle with the federal government. We don't have a 3-year track record in doing that contract. So we got to slide under the radar and connect with people to subcontract.
I appreciate you asking that, but how do you know all that? Because that's what politicians are.
Just accumulation of what you guys know. But you got to live off your savings.
Yeah.
It takes a long time for that federal check to come in, so you can't quit your day job.
No, let me tell you, it's not that we're avoiding those kind of questions in this class, but he's spot on. He really is. So Paula sums it up with this thing called past performance. So, which is great, which is why the org chart fits with what he said. The more you put people on this org chart, because keep in mind, that's the same thing. You can already think through who would you hire that would be a manager or supervisor? Who would you hire to be a worker, right? So you're always filling these slots in, but these people's bios, resumes, they're your past performance. These are your contingency hires. They're going to put all these components in place. And just as he's saying, interestingly, I made some templates for Paula to identify that. That's literally, that's what she's got, like 4 sheets of paper that she's doing. Because again, by show of hand, which I didn't do this earlier, all my veterans, all the veterans.
Woo-hoo!
Now you see who they were, right? Just as he just said, you put a veteran on your, and matter of fact, Kalina said.
Yes, and I've already have my certification. So at some point in the process, I'll be talking directly to veterans to help them go through the process that I've already gone through. And in that same vein, are there any veterans who've already gone through the process and are certified?
Going through it right now.
Huh?
Going through it right now.
You're going through it now?
Veteran affairs, okay, good.
Okay, there's one that's going through it. So at some point in the process, I'll make sure, because it's different. I mean, it's just a total different process than anything else.
Yeah, I did the self-certified. My business partner was out of the country, so I had to wait till he come back. I need to get his tax information and all that stuff, so I'm on the next phase of it too. Because there's all these benefits to once you do it. That pertains to his question though. So all those people stood up. You may want a veteran in your chain of command. You know, you may want a certain skill set. She had a hand up first.
Okay, so I know a lot of veterans who are disabled vets. Does that preclude them from applying for some of these?
No. Matter of fact, like she was asking, she knows a lot of vets that are disabled. They actually get a higher rate. And in some cases, a veteran that's been certified, see there's two things. You self-certify on SAM, where you go in there and they say, oh, you're a service-disabled veteran on small business. I'm a service-disabled veteran on small business. But the VA has another certification just strictly to do contracts with the VA. And from what I read now, this is what I keep trying to get Paula to verify, you might be able to verify. It's actually higher than the 8A.
It is.
It is, I thought so. I kept telling her to read the show on the phone. I know I read that.
Anything that has to do with the federal government, military always goes higher than civilian.
Yeah.
And once you I'm a service disabled vet. So once you are certified as a service disabled vet, you're automatically certified as a veteran-owned company. So it's like a dual process. So does that make sense?
See, it match that person up with their skill set. What's your IT? See, so look, yep, you can have a CIO that's available and as a license.
Mental health is easy. Mental health clinician, licensed in the state of Georgia.
See, so if you're looking at
Whatever
anything
falls
now,
in
health
that.
services, human services, mental health, you put that person on your team. Yes.
I'm a counselor by trade, is what I like to do. It's my wheelhouse. This class right now is talking about, I gotta kind of sort of get all about that and be prepared to install toilets in military bases to do something completely different, be a boss. I want to get a NASCO in my wheelhouse, but it's not.
Can you talk about it? For everyone that emailed us this week, yeah, for everyone that emailed us this week and gave us the name of the next code, Paula, she will try to return every call that day. So if you email us what you're thinking, what I like,
Well, I just want to know the reality. I need to co-model somebody.
Yeah,
Get the reality. Now, I will not be able to be a CEO of what I really want. I just want to think volume.
No, let me tell you, oh my goodness, I just forgot the name. No, in the next codes, they have a, oh my goodness, I just forgot the name of it. It's the size table. It's called a size table. Do me a favor, write that down, the size table. And actually, Paula fussed at me last week, because you're like, can you tell me about the size table? I was like, I didn't make the full connection, first of all. But if you do your next codes and use the size table, what happens with Paula most of the time is you're a small business depending on the next code that you need. And so facilities management allows you to be a small business up to like $25 million, right? But if you pick one that's just something you're passionate about, it may only be $5 million. So the moment you make over $5 million, the government will know you're no longer a small business. So what Paula has a tendency to do is say, pick the ones that have the largest volume, and that way you know you're going to always be declared as a small business. But nothing is stopping you from going after contracts. You can technically go out to any contract you want to go out. There's no limit. When you register in SAM, and I'm trying to think through it, we're going to have a day where everybody, I'm glad to see you walk their laptop, and we'll figure out how to get online and everything. And we may even do it online, where we just have everybody come online. But we're gonna walk you through SAM because you mess up one thing in that thing and then it turns into a smooth process when it's just really process, right? Because the reason I'm saying in SAM, they say you can pick up to 100 next codes. But yeah, but the thing about it is, out of that 100, they're gonna say which one is your primary. And so the government is gonna first try to tag you by that first. They're gonna, literally, that's gonna be, the government's gonna send you contracts, all these marketing firms are gonna send you contracts. Everybody's like, oh, that's your main strength. Let's see if this is something you can do. So you don't have to leave your passion on the table. You don't have to, I know it was a long way around the answer, but that's what it is. To me, I love training and teaching. With the or that is what it is. SBA 408. 408. He says the top next code, and that did it have the table, the size table? And that's okay. SBA 408. S is in sales. Yep, S is in SBA, Small Business Administration, and then you can Google it, right? 408. SBA 408. What's that? This one.
It has the top ones that you kind of want on your top, like the government, they have, like you said, your small business under 15 million,
Yeah.
25 million.
Yeah, and you see, it wasn't until we did the naming exercise, and she had been saying it to me, but we didn't have this kind of volume. And she was like, oh, I got them picking this because of this size. And she had said it to me before. I was like, why you keep having everybody change their stuff? She's like, that's what money is. So, you know, it's that kind of pain. So, but keep in mind, going back to your question, the option is always, are you going to be the worker or are you going to be an executive?
Yeah.
You know, that's the thing about it. And if you're okay with it, ain't see, know your goals. It ain't, you can't make money being the worker. As long as somebody's paying you what you're satisfied with. I had an investor years ago. He told me, he said, Mike, he said, what's more important, owning the yacht or having access to one? And I was ready to answer him right there on the spot. He's like, no, don't answer him right now. He said, tell me tomorrow. And my answer didn't change. When I came back the next day, I said, having access. He's like, that's the right answer. He said, it doesn't make a difference as long as it gets you where you want to go. He's like, you get mad that you're on, I'll get caught up. So in other words, if you know your goals, you're okay with actually being the manager or supervisor, then fine. Yeah, then you're gonna be somebody else's and you're gonna be somebody's team, right? You're gonna be the secondary or you're gonna be on somebody's team. But if you want to be the primary, then there's no out there for you as a primary. And what I feel confident about is, after we finish all this training, not just this time that we're together, the amount of information we're gonna be giving everybody, we want you confident as a CEO. So we're like, oh, go after that contract. You know, we're gonna have all the support in your group. Yes, ma'am.
Part of what I do as a subcontractor is reviewing federal grants. And one of the things that people will use to get around having that past experience is to have a company where they can donate like maybe 5% of their time or 10% of their time. So if you're, say that the salary is $200,000 and they're going to be available 10%, that works. So it kind of expands your options of having people on your team who's not there at 100%, you can't pay them, but just using what you need.
No, she's right too. No, so I mean, yeah, just the fact she's that contract officer, we got that kind of talent in here. So no, but that's exactly it. It's all about exchanging past performance. That's what the government. Have you done the work? Can you do the work? Okay, good. Here's the contract. Let's see if you're going to do it, right? And then get back to your funding question. They call it mobilization funding. Mobilization funding is that you win the contract and you're like, okay, now what I do, because the government's like, we're not paying you in advance. Now, policy will say like now she never says all of them, but I have seen something where they were like, okay, they pay for certain expenses or something up front, there's stuff like this, but it's minimal compared to what your overall payroll costs and all that stuff is, right? But in regards to that, the gentleman that I was talking about, one of the people that said he wants to come in, he says that they do pre-invoice funding. Pre-invoice, so that's in other words, before you invoice the government, so that it's not coming out of your pocket, there's like these payday loan kind of companies that will give you the money in advance. We're trying to eliminate that. We're trying to create the GPI fund. So we've got investors in New York and stuff that we've been talking to just about every day, because they're like, we'd rather invest in y'all. Y'all training these companies win these contracts and service these contracts. Yeah. We'd rather invest in y'all than invest somewhere else. So we in negotiations.
So I can stay away from Wells Fargo deal with you.
Get everybody's money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can give you points.
Absolutely, absolutely. And then on top of that, and let me tell you, we are able to share in the collective past performance, which means what? Now we can go out to 8-figure contract on your behalf. So that's the clearinghouse is already happening, to be honest with you. We're already doing this component of it, but and we're trying to get celebrities, athletes, and high-profile people to redivert their money into these components. Matter of fact, I don't know. There was somebody that's here. I don't know. But someone got a bunch of athletes. But yeah.
Is that what you're calling the ceilings awards?
The what now?
When you go out to the contract, the ceiling awards.
I'm not sure. I need to, and I might ask my contractor, my subcontractor. You said ceiling, like CEIL?
Yes.
I'm not sure. I want to think I've seen that. That's a powerful. So I'm not sure.
Because I've seen them doing my research, and they award you so much, but then you have a bottom, and then you have a ceiling award.
Within the contract itself?
Right.
I'm not sure. Have you ever heard of it? No, I'm pretty sure it's there, and that's another part of the process that I'm working on. Where she showed me is, it was in one of the SOPs. One of the SOPs Paula showed me, they had an outline of how they structure the contracts. And I just haven't had a chance to convert it yet. Because I told Paula, if we take the sections inside of that contract, that should, and break that into a process, that should help everybody write the contract better. And so we're gonna take subsets of each one of those contracts and pull that in. Remind me, I'll check with her, or email me and text me, we'll check with her. And we get ready to start on the business plan and conforming in just a second.
Question about the advisory board, whether your advisory board is outside of the C-suite or?
No, let me tell you, that's a great question too. She was saying, is the advisory board outside of? Yeah, the org chart was the best. The org chart was the primary part. But she was saying the C-suite and the advisory board, they do not have to be the same people. There's no way out. I mean, in all honesty, if you got folks that are saying, hey, I'm willing to mentor you, and then that's a huge component that's in there too. Yeah.
Usually there's a board of directors.
Let me tell you, see, that's the other part. You used to have to declare a board. You don't have to declare a board anymore on the LLC. You don't have to declare a board. You do on a C Corp, because in the C Corp and the S Corp, you technically are able to issue stock, right? And then there's common and preferred stock. I don't know anybody that does a C or S right off the bat unless you think you're going to have a lot of sales.
Yeah, but from an advisor standpoint, you could have people that want to board of directors as advisors outside of the C-suite.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. You can have personal advisors, everything else. I call them mentors. I've got a lot of great mentors in my life, so they, I'm thankful for it.
And LLCs are different per state.
Yeah, that's a great question too. There's no way around it. There's no the lady who was gonna come. She's still supposed to come.
No Georgia law with LLCs. They had to learn California laws if you get a.
Well, let me tell you, actually, right now, as far as east of the Mississippi, Delaware is the best place to get a LLC, because Delaware will allow you to get series and subsidiaries. In other words, you get one LLC, then all your subsidiaries will be under that and all. Okay, again, I apologize on that, but I'll tell you, the core thing was going to be the org chart, and I want to go through the business plan model real quick with y'all, if y'all mind. And I know we kind of started with it. And I actually was hoping they would have, I didn't know, like I said, there was logistics on the outreach today, because the video stuff, we'll get all the stuff going on. Okay. The business plan model, you have the business plan outline. It was actually this. It's all right. That's it. Oh. Yeah, if you don't have one. Y'all might get us extra 10 minutes, 15 minutes. I do so many of these. I normally do the tech, like where I think I am, and I should have looked at it earlier. So I apologize. The idea is a lot of what's happening. We sent a video out to everybody last week. We're trying to, again, if you did not get this, I did not have an email address. So you want to make sure or check for a junk mail. So I sent the vocabulary, I sent the video from last week. Right now, we're trying to decide which platform to put the videos on so we can secure them. You're going to eventually get a code. We're probably a week away, at least a week away from figuring out which one we're going to do. And so, but eventually, in other words, we're trying to keep it in-house logistics. We're not trying to make it all no. Because, yeah, no, not at all. Yeah, it's all, yeah, but you have to send somebody out, but it's not like we advertise. So, you know, literally, Lester was here last week at a funeral today. So again, I both researching and trying to figure out which one is the best one. And so we're going to secure, we're going to try to get all that security info.
If your name is on the list in the back,
Yeah, if your name is on the back, you should have gotten, it's probably your junk mail. Because yeah, I definitely use that list as long as it has your email address. And like I said, somebody texted me back and said it was in their junk mail. But now, remember I said it real quick last week. This is actually what it looks like. I actually was rattling it off. Executive summary, company summary, product services, marketing, management, legal, financial, management. I don't say that just for show. I do not. Your business is governed by these components. This is the outline of a basic business plan. If you want to write a business plan, you take the 16 blocks, what I started earlier. In the executive summary, the executive summary is you're saying what is the ultimate vision of the company. That is what you're saying in your executive summary. The company summary, you in essence are stating the history and mission of the company. History and mission of the company. The executive summary, you're technically saying what's your vision, and I'm going to add something else to it. What's your vision and strategic position? Where you think your company is going to be. You know, and there's nothing wrong. I mean, you can't lose saying I want my company to make $100,000 next year or $500,000 next year. Set some kind of milestone. We did the life map last week, and I went back and I said, okay, you have your goals. When do you want that goal accomplished by? That's the same thing with this. In your business planning, you do the TSR, and you say, okay, by third quarter, because the government's first quarter is actually the fourth quarter of the calendar year. October 1st is the government's first quarter. So we're in the first quarter of the government, we're in the last quarter of the year, right? So you can say my third quarter 2016 goals is I want to have 10 contracts, totaling, $900,000, right? So that's your vision and your strategic direction. That's what the executive summary is. Your company summary is more about the history and background of the company. This is why you started it, what you did, this is what your passion, your interest, you talk about the leadership, who's involved. You can use the 16 blocks too, by the way. I know I haven't referenced that. Products and services. Nowadays, products and services can be a hybrid. Data is a hybrid. Data sometimes can be considered a service. Data sometimes can be considered a product. All about how things are packaged. If you are going to be, if you know you're going to be more around products, there's a website called fedbid.com. 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 Yeah, you know what it is? This part we're still trying to figure out. It's a government website, but it has .com. We think it's ran by eBay because it's the same format. If you're going to be a product company, they actually sell services on it too. But FedBid is the eBay of government contracting. One of Paul's colleagues paid like $3 last year. Doing up sitting at home, placing buying supplies for the government. That's what that site does for you. And you get on there and learn. So if you're a product company, FedBid is probably where you're going to drive. For services, it's going to be fpo.gov for the most part. That's federal biz ops operations ops.fpo.gov. Whatever time classes on all the stuff or something. Products and services, know your competitors. There's no way around it. You got a product. You got shelf space, inventory. Services, intellectual property. Okay. Marketing and sales. Marketing and sales. Your target markets, your demographics. Now, in the government space, that still does exist. If you know you only want to look at contracts, east of the Mississippi, they have contracts all over the world. So you can be very specific about trying to stay local. They, like I said, they try to hire local firms first, then regional, then national, is what they try to do, or the international in some cases. Everywhere there's a military base, there's a government contract. Everywhere there's an embassy, there's a government contract. So that's why I said I have a serious about agreement. All right. The marketing and sales inside the government space is relationship building. You know, that's like the gentleman that came here. Sales, you really are. You're selling the value of your firm. You know, so it's not the typical hard press sales. This is what I do. This is what I'm good at. And I can do it for your department. Management, we pretty much went over that to the org chart. That's all your org chart components. Management, you can't collect enough bios of people that's going to be on the advisory board. That's a good component. Legal, again, was your yep, was your legal counsel. Legal counsel. Okay. And there's a ton of templates for non-disclosure agreements, non-competes. Literally, you Google that, EBT, or no, actually DOC. There's a ton of templates out there. Funding. Funding is different than financials, and this is why I put it first. You have to have a funding strategy. I tell you, the more people start seeing you even getting focused, the more they're going to want to put money into what you're doing. And so, you know, funding is a mentality all by itself. You know, it's your value proposition, your ROI. You know, what's the return on investment? There's nothing wrong with entertainment funding. That's a class all by itself. You got friends and family round, you got angel investors, you got venture capitalists, you got private equity, you got PPM, private placement memorandums. There's all this, so it's a strategy all by itself. It needs to be part of your business plan. Financials, there's no way around it. Accounting, yeah, that's all accountants, your financial statements, that's your general ledger, your taxes. There's no way around it. No way around it. It's worth doing it right. It's worth doing it right. HR is under management. Great question. He said, where does HR fall? HR falls under management. You never paid attention to these before. You have a lot of meetings on your job. I'm not kidding. This is like a checklist. You're like, oh, we're talking about this, and they're talking about what you got to go this way, you got to go this way. They use it on again. They use it on all the time. Yeah, the financials, projections, and then also your history, your financial history. Credit and all those things, your company credit, that's why Dun & Bradstreet is going to be key. You know, Dun & Bradstreet, technically it's like the Equifax, but Dun & Bradstreet, it's you get a free Dun & Bradstreet. And oh, by the way, too, there's a lot of free services out here. Literally, in Atlanta and all over the place, Atlanta's pretty progressive. You go outside Atlanta, a lot of these services drop off. You got to find them online. Our thing is not, we're not necessarily competing against all those free services. This is what we're trying to do. The whole facilitation and coordinating and all this stuff together. Okay, contingency. Contingency is backup plan. Yep, you gotta have a contingency plan for everything. That's what the PSPT actually is about. So the contingency planning, and I tell people all the time, and I said it even last week, we did like that. Game plan A, game plan B, game plan C. But in business, I'm not kidding. If you're doing it right, you got whole alphabet of plans. So if you think 4 or 5 is good enough, no, you should have something that you can pretty much, if nothing else. Here's the other thing too, I'm not expecting anybody to write a formal business plan, but I'm expecting you to be able to talk through your business plan. You should be able to say, you know what, these are my marketing strategies, my management concerns, these are my legal concerns. Yes, ma'am.
But when you're talking about contingency, you're talking about your backup plan. You're talking about different parts of your business. So, am I understanding that
Yeah,
right?
no,
So So if I'm focusing on product sales, maybe I'm also focusing on something IT related or whatever my
That's
other
right. You know what it
parts of my
is?
businesses are.
If you have something that's weather sensitive, then you need to find something that's not. Just like you're saying, right? You constantly have this contrast of saying, okay, that train is in motion. Let me put another backup train, in place. You got a plane ticket, you better have a bus ticket too. And then, what you made me think of is the word contingency here is more about backup plans compared to contingency high, right? I know I kind of used that before. So the contingency to me is always have a backup plan. Yep, I love it. That's even
What'd
better
he
than I was saying. You were saying have a secondary NAICS code and all the stuff, and being able to have it all in place. So yeah, you know,
Basically, so you can throw different things in the government to get that.
there you go.
So
Yep.
if they turn one thing down, we're gonna keep it.
Think about it. That's what I said about Stacy, right? She was in real estate and she got a window cleaning project. You know, again, because she has facilities management is one of her top things go. But she has real estate. She actually went out to the big hood. I think somebody else said they were on the hood contract. She went out to the hood contract. They came close, but they lost. And but so she still stayed with real estate, but she's also going to, and she's looking at IT. She has a brother that was a big IT manager. I think she did say she was in a, that they were closing out something, cleaner up, so I'm cleaner.
This is more of a question. I had someone tell me in your vision, your contingency plan should also be your exit strategy,
Well,
which is your selling of your company.
okay, no, that's actually good. No, let me tell you, under contingency plan, damage control and exit strategy. That's somewhere near your contingency plan. That's great. Appreciate you saying it too. Here's the thing about an exit strategy. I had a guy who used to whoop me in chairs all the time. And he said, man, I'm gonna beat you in chairs every single time. He said, because you don't know how to retreat. He said, retreat is a strategy. So in other words, but in business, an exit strategy is going IPO more often now. So if you hear a company, especially on Bloomberg, they said a lot. Oh, their exit strategy, in other words, where are they gonna sell out? And everybody's like, I can sell out. Know your goals. If you in this to make $100 million and somebody offers you 150,
Okay, it's time to go.
don't hesitate, no. That was your goals, right? Don't you want to put your money? Exit strategies, I'm making, I'm leaving. Exit is a strategy. It's a strategy.
Risk management, how will it?
That's great, absolutely. Risk management goes to a lot of contingency plan. That's why you get insurance. Great. I love when we share and learn. Risk management is absolutely a part of it. I actually feel like whatever expertise I've gained is because I was known for contingency planning for people. People would tell me an idea, remember I said, I like the idea, don't bring it back up. Now let's deal with all of the possibilities, right? Over the years, my mind instantly contingency plans. I go, okay, what if this, what if that, what if this, okay, what if this looks like? Yeah, it is. There's a lot of what ifs. I intentionally put personal in here because I can't stand it when they say in business. It's not personal, it's business. They lying. They lying. Mess up their money and see how personal. Right? It's all personal. So this is what I tell people. You know, I tell people that I take everything in, but I don't have to react to everything. Right? So I mean, come on, you're a real, breathing, feeling, emotional person. But you got to know how to process that. So work-life balance is absolutely a part of business and business planning and what you do. You know, have fun. You know, work hard but have fun. You know, it's that kind of thing. You know, there's no reason why we can't do that. You know,
We gotta manage our feelings.
yeah, and it's part of it because you know, I mean, negotiations and especially negotiations, they're won and lost sometimes just on expressions. And people are like, oh, you didn't like that. You're like, no, dude, I had indigestion. And literally, I've had to go back and clear things up with people like that. And I'm quick to tell Paula too. I'm like, I'll preface things and go, okay, don't pay attention to my tone. Like, just pay attention to what I'm saying. You know, because at that moment, I'm so focused, the tone changes, but it has nothing to do with what I'm actually feeling.
Is that where you would have to like factor in cultural differences and preferences?
Oh, absolutely. Even within, now here's the thing, language is one of the primary things that dictates culture. So in every one of these government departments, there is a language. There's no way around it. You go in and say one thing, they're like, what are you talking about? So it can be very specific to the government department, and as much as it is to your team and your, you know, I know IBM used to call it Big Blue, right? They expect you to come in and buy into a culture, Coca-Cola, Red, and all that stuff, you know, to do it. Yes, sir.
So as far as personal, this is just a wisdom question. Should I get out the habit of thinking about hiring family and friends?
I'll give you something. This is what he said. He said about hiring your family and friends. I heard a comedian say this, and I actually used to say this when I did the video. And if your family weren't your family, would you be friends with them? So that's the real answer. You know, no, let me tell you seriously. No, let me tell you though, one of the most successful businesses I ever did consulting for, what I actually was talking about it last week, Dr. Avery, she had family members work for her. At one point, she was making $1 million a month. And so, you know, and you got the right people working for you, and they know that this is about work. You know, it's all about the work. So, you know, it's that kind of stuff. You know, that you got, and one of the reasons I thought she was so successful because all her family members, they were synced up. I mean, it was just always synced up. So if you got that kind of atmosphere around you, like people that's around you, man, give it a shot. You know, matter of fact, POs and SOPs are all under management. You know, there's a way around putting policies and procedures in place under management. Hold people to processes. I didn't say this last week. I tell people all the time, in business, you're not really managing people, you're managing processes. And so if you let a process, one of my cousins loves working with me, he says it all the time, he says, man, I love working because the processes always the authority. That you can check me against the process. He's like, Mike, well, how did you get off course? All right, I called out. He's like, what the process say? Yeah, so you know, if you let the process drive the authority, then they can't be mad at you when y'all are in on the process. You know, yeah. Yeah, no, that's good. No, that's actually, she asked about operating expenses. To me, that falls in two places, management and financial. Management and financial, because if your CFO, again, your CFO doesn't have to talk to anyone else in the company. They can look at them numbers and go, this department is being ineffective. You know, because numbers just don't, if you know how to interpret them right, they don't lie. They just don't lie. But the COO is responsible for all those operational details, all those things you got to take care of. I got project management on here last because if you're not familiar with project management, you can't research it enough. And really, a lot of these things that I'm sharing with you, they come from project management discipline. I'm a TQM guy, military, for all of them. If you went to the military in the 90s, they would think of total quality management, eminence, up. You know, so TQM was you empower everybody in the assembly line. If one person sees a problem with it, they can stop the entire assembly line. Toyota beat us up. The guy tried to take it to the American companies in the 60s and 70s. They're like, man, ain't no way in the world. I'm going to give a line worker control of the whole line. And he was saying, you trust your people, don't you? He's like, if they see a discrepancy, let them stop right there. Don't let it pass by. So Toyota, on the other hand, let everybody stop the line. If they saw one problem, then again, they managed the process right. You know, they had to, and if you get a chance to teach them, I love it. That's what Six Sigma is now. Six Sigma, Black Belts, and all that stuff is the grandchild of TQM.
Did you say what that stood for?
Oh, it's, total quality management. Total quality management, knowledge management. You can't, and you know, and I think somebody emailed me or texted me. They was like, they love this, but they were like, this is so much, you know. And I get accused of it all the time. Boy, you give me, I wanted a cup of water, and you gave me a bottle. So you know, it's like, well, you know, I was joking with Paula because I was telling her some of the stuff I was going to start doing these classes. She's like, that's a lie. I said, you know what? If you go from basic math to algebra, don't expect us to go back to basic math. It's algebra or calculus. You know, at some point, it's the intensity of what it is. But I'd rather us simulate it in here, and we get it wrong in practice, and not get it wrong in the game.
I'm a senior project manager, and so there's a lot of information out there about project management. So the best place to go is the institute that certifies you. I'm certified, so it's PMI.org.
PMI.org.
And if you do the PPT like he said on Google and put PMI in there, you'll see the legitimate discipline out there.
Yeah. And I know I ran over all the time, but I really want to do the calendar. It's something, if anyone has to go, I totally understand, but I really want to do the calendar. I'm going to do it. All right. Let's see. Say that. Okay, I tell you, I don't have a copy, but I know it's so it should be this one right here. I intentionally put the calendar according to the season, and but that's actually for the 42. Yes, sir.
Are you still gonna pick up the resume?
Yeah. And when Mr. Wright told y'all last week, I was like, we need those electronic. But but everybody had already left because I'll take them in physical form too. Here's the thing, and I've been keeping you to say this actually again. I'm telling you, we're here for you, not just for this government contract. So jobs and all that kind of stuff, we don't mind. I'll tell you. task us. I mean, we got a lot of resources, so we'll do what we can, where we can, when we can, that kind of stuff. So, you know, what business, whatever helps. Yeah, email them, that'll be the best thing, email them. Y'all can put it into the, okay, I'm gonna have hers back here in just a second. Okay. Now, when I say the ship doesn't dictate culture, this is those, the calendar is those, the month of January, what are the biggest money-making events in the month of January? New Year. Biggest money-making, matter of fact, I'll give you a specific day. Somebody say football. Let me tell you. So in the month of January, I want you to write NCAA football. NCAA football. Maryland wins their division, and they get ready to play somebody in a bowl game. Where do they put the bowl game? California. That's right. Why do they put it in California? Weather. You got to fly. You got to hotel. Everybody go where the big games are, big parties are, right? We do not pay attention to what happens to these. There are cities who make a living off of having a bowl game by itself. So January 1st, we just, oh man, I just want to sit down and eat and watch a game. Now realize millions and billions of dollars in advertisements and everything else is happening during that time. And here's the other thing too. January, obviously, we have a lot of snowstorms and everything else. So I'm telling you this is relevant. If you are going to be environmental and all that kind of stuff, you can make money sadly chasing storms. Right? So in the block of January, I want you to put NCAA, I want you to put snowstorms and weather during that time period. And of course, New Year's and fitness is also, what the point of this exercise is, what happens in those months that dictates how money has to happen. Yes, if you're going to be in hospitality, right? Airlines, all these different things. Follow the money. Yes, ma'am.
FEMA also checks you down for subcontracting because of the hurricanes and storms. They look for subcontractors. I'm getting emails like crazy.
See, okay, she specifically said hurricane, that's in a different month. But yeah, storms though.
I mean, any kind of storm.
Okay.
Yeah, they need people to do subcontracting.
Yep. Sad as it is, I said it last week, the floods in South Carolina, those are federal highways, federal roads, right? I guarantee you, there's going to be a cycle of contract. And then on top of it, all the human services that are needed, exactly, right? So it's not random, y'all. This is the point of all this stuff. It's not random. There are very distinct patterns. Okay, January. What are some other events in the month of January? King holiday. It's not a big money making day, right? King holiday.
It's the #1 day for retail sales.
Is it? Okay. I can say, because you know what? Everybody thinks Black Friday is. I have been hearing it. I didn't know what other day she was saying.
Nobody has any obligations. They all go to spend some money. It's a free holiday.
Yeah. And then she said it's one of the #1 days for retail sales. But don't take any of the holidays for granted because the banks are closed, the stock market is closed. They're very much relevant to how it starts the cycle of everything. The federal government starts doing its forecasting, and I'm learning more and more about different policies and forecasting these.
I've been in Japan for about 10 years, and ran into this guy. He had a Jamaican restaurant. He went out and cooked at festivals. Every month, he listed all the holidays, all the festivals, and basically he just went to every single one and made a killing just from showing you every little holiday.
And don't take for granted on your daily routine who you meet, who God chooses to, or who you meet. For the last, I've been on construction for the last 2 weeks, and every time I go pick up paint, right, I see a guy on his car, and he works at the paint store, and he's a storm chaser.
Yeah.
So I have to get his information, because if I can get a contract for storm chasing, there's the guy. So, you know, don't take for granted.
Because and this gets back to what you were saying earlier about passion for opportunity. And I hadn't thought to say it that way. But you can be passionate about something, but what's the opportunity? And if it's a matter of you learning how to be a manager, you're managing somebody who's doing the work, being on the contract. Especially if it's in your hometown or somewhere you like, I'm cool if I go there too. You know, like I'm serious about that thing. I have one in every pro sport town. I love sports. I'm like, whoa, check out.
Me too.
All right, so now, January, of course, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. you know, all the parades, all that stuff is in there too. You got, yeah, fitness, all the fitness stuff, you know, they know you signed up and ain't going. And 21 days, right? 21 days to make it happen, 21 days to break that. And so usually they say, yeah, what they say, like January 23rd, like, no, there's like January 23rd. Watch this year coming up. They're going to have like the news, all the news outlets have a story. January 23rd is the most depressing day of the year because everybody realized they didn't do none of their New Year's resolutions.
Birthday, it's a great day.
Outstanding. Yeah, oh yeah. Follow the patterns. Why try to dictate something that's greater than you, right? I mean, it's just, we hate to admit it. So, okay. Go ahead. You know what? That's true. I heard that this year. Oh, wow. New Year's Day or day after New Year's is the #1 day for divorces. So, that's serious. I guess people like way more than but no, seriously, I did hear that this year. They did talk about that too. So it is what it is. Doing legal services. Yeah, so okay. This might okay, February. What's that's actually one of the main ones I was looking for. Super Bowl. Super Bowl is one of the main ones. More often than not, sometimes they have it at the end of January, but more often than not, it's Super Bowl again because think about it. I mean, we have more people sometimes come around the Super Bowl than we do for Thanksgiving. So it is what it is. It's taking out the whole, everything shuts down, the whole world now. Yep. But it does start. Yeah.
The last 3 years,
And they paying for a big one too now. That's part of why they want to know. Okay. Valentine's Day, that's right. And here's the thing, right? If you watch, like right now, Walmart's gonna put out the winter stuff about mid-November, December. They start putting out spring stuff, right? They're like, if you ain't bought it by now, you ain't gonna buy it. So, you know what I'm telling you? So, these patterns, again, they ain't random. They didn't just decide this today. They've been planning for a while. Yes.
Right after Valentine's, you're actually comparing those people out to the resorts and beaches.
That's true. They're gonna keep vacation places do it. And then on top of that, what is it? Which one of the holidays is in President's Day, right?
February.
You know, who is the biggest advertisement on President's Day? Appliances. They're like, oh, you got money, and you can buy big ticket items, right? Appliances and all this stuff. This is
Tax return.
tax returns, yes, exactly. January 1st, everybody's getting it. So all the payday in all places and all this stuff happening for that time period. Yeah, this is not random. Every 3 to 5 miles there's an elementary school, every 5 to 7 miles there's a middle school. Yeah, I'm telling you, it's man. So let's see. Oh, Mardi Gras. Mardi Gras happens. Anything around transportation, people got hospitality, transportation becomes ramped up. You know, any kind of big party that happens. Okay, yep. March, what's the big thing? March Madness. Again, they do it again, right? And then they just get these college kids coming and going, right? Highest tuitions ever, outpacing inflation, all the rest of the stuff. These kids can't even begin to think about paying back their student loan. And they want you to go spend your money on parking. I'll tell you, well, they hit them hard. They hit them hard. So yeah, March Madness is a big one. St. Patrick's Day ties into it. Yeah, St. Patrick's Day ties into it too. I'm trying to it's been a while since I've done it. Spring break, yeah, spring break comes into play. I guess it's in some proms. Oh, basketball. Okay, your baseball season started. All right, so April, Easter, tax season, all that stuff ramps into it too. And Mardi Gras can actually be in February or March.
Yes.
So now the Jewish community around Passover, let's do that. Yeah, the Jewish holidays pair for a lot of this, a lot of things that happen in March and April. I don't know a lot of shift in money and everybody is real. There's a whole cycle. There's a whole cycle of what happens at that time. And so April, big thing, Easter, we shift out the whole shift to Easter and all that. Okay, May, April and May proms and all that kind of stuff, graduation, same thing, you fly. They want your hospitality.
Mother's Day.
Mother's Day, that's right. Okay. June, what is June known for? Did anything else?
Travel.
Weddings and graduations. Said start home sales, all those components. Yeah, you said what else? Father's Day? No, no. Daddy's Day. Yes, sir.
You're also with May, with gardening and stuff like that, people trying to do.
That's absolutely true. Matter of fact, Home Depot based their hiring numbers in January and February on what, that is great, actually, have not said that one in a while. Yeah, Home Depot actually based their numbers on depending on what the season is. They say they expect us to have one of the worst El Niños in a long time, so, and if you saw it the other day on the World News, they were always coming right through the bottom area of Tennessee and Georgia. And up north is not gonna get it this year. They saying we gonna get it. So, yeah, it's gonna be a supposed gardening. Yep, literally Home Depot and all the rest of them decide their hiring numbers. By the, they'll say in January, February, we're gonna need 100,000 people because they get everything set up. June was weddings.
What about vacation?
And vacation, but they actually start the vacation days back in February because it's cold and they want you thinking about paying for the vacation now, right? And so that vacation thing, they trying to get you when you feel miserable.
Father's Day.
Yeah, we say Father's Day, you know, y'all is Happy Father's Day. I get a bunch of texts. Okay, so July, obviously 4th of July. July 4th of July.
Fireworks.
Yeah, fireworks. And now Georgia allows you to buy them in state. They can get lots of fireworks. All this shit and stuff. Huh? What type of song? Oh, you know what else I forgot to? June, NBA finals. May and June, NBA finals. We think all this stuff is just casual. Concerts, what's the big thing? The festivals and stuff like that. That's all May, June, July. And you know, Taste of Chicago, Taste of everybody, right? They want you to travel. Matter of fact, Southwest had a deal the other day.
Yep.
March Madness in March. Yep. St. Patrick's Day.
What about family reunions?
You know what? I forgot to mention June. Yes, family reunions.
June and July.
Again, you just think, oh, I just got my tickets. There's more science to it.
There's some music festival in New Orleans.
In May. July. Oh yeah.
Yeah, the first week is July.
It's a music festival in July.
I used to work, it's big money in that.
Follow the
July
month.
4th.
Follow the month. August, such a quiet month.
No, it's fine.
Yep. August universities, basement 12. Everything ramps up traffic.
Yes.
Yeah, you know what?
September is the.
Yes, I told you once. Volkswagen, they trying to get rid of all. You know, Volkswagen, they control right now, right?
Michelle, with the storm trade shows, isn't that tornado season?
Which one?
During
Yeah, tornado season.
June, July, it's like tornado alley, crazy.
Yep, tornado, that's true. But each one of the seasons, I meant to mention the storm. So actually, the storms, tornadoes can start around April. Every single state has always had a tornado. Every single state has always had a tornado in every month. But the worst time is tornado, is during that tornado time. So April to July, and the whole thing, yeah, somewhere around there. So again, storm chasing. And yes, ma'am.
What are others like in the summertime, when kids are out of school, like a lot of transportation, like a lot of camps, summer camps, and things like that?
That's true. If you're on the nonprofit side, there's no doubt about it. And that's a lot of data. A lot of data. I know we don't talk about it enough, but we constantly trying to find people on the nonprofit side. And then August, like since schools come back, September you got Labor Day. Oh, this is the end of summer, right? That's not the end of summer. The end of summer is always September. Yeah, hurricanes kick in.
They had it from August through September, late August through September for hurricanes.
Hurricanes?
Yes.
Didn't I say?
Yeah, they started in the Caribbean.
It says June through November, but it peaks in late August through September.
Yeah.
Hey. Research. Cross-reference. All right, October. Halloween, right? It is what else? slowly trying to get rid of the problem with that.
The name, but you like the name.
Yes, yeah, we like to get off. But here's the thing about it too. October 1st was, what did I say earlier? Federal government. Year for the government. Right. They go into a little quiet area. They're now spending this time here figuring out their forecast for next year. Remember the guy Brown told us that. He came. So Paula told me, actually, I forgot, and I didn't have a pen in my hand, so I didn't write it down. She said, I think it was around January they started issuing the forecast, and that's why. Yeah, but then you can be more aggressive about the contracts. They always got contracts being issued. It's just they're more aggressive once they have a forecast. November, of course, Thanksgiving, right? And Veterans Day. That's true. Matter of fact, the HBCUs have a massive one now they're doing. They're gonna have the big, instead of TSU Family now, they're gonna have a big one on Christmas. They got a big bowl. They actually converted it to a bowl game or something like that. Yeah, 100 black and black. Yes.
Yeah, the September, October, back to the Jewish holidays, that's big, like first of the year for the Jews.
Yeah.
That's a big to do.
Yep, I'll tell you, think about it. They got like
Rosh Hashanah, Yom
They don't think twice
Kippur.
about going to Israel or traveling and doing all this stuff.
In October, the Million Man Month. Is that renewed, the Million Man Month?
But it ain't done every year.
Always on.
But that ain't bad. So you got all the festivals, events and stuff kicking in, so follow the trail. Pro football starts back.
Yeah, darn skip. Veterans Day.
Is it? And then, 4th December. Christmas, the holidays, with kids out of school, everybody's out of school, the college is transition, everything else. So the calendar is not random. The calendar is not random. That's the point of that particular exercise. The calendar is not random. Okay, let me check this real quick. Okay. Okay, yes.
The number one surgery month in medical facilities is December for doctors. They're trying to clear out everybody they can do surgery on before the new year.
He said the number one surgical month is doctors, for doctors is the month of December. And let me tell you, for nonprofits, I mean, for foundations too, is that they try to get rid of money. I mean, all these different, so you can actually, and one of the government officials Paula introduced us to, he said the same thing. He said the government just starts giving out contracts. He was like, by that time, they don't have time to bid out. If you're on their list, he's like, man, we just start sending stuff out. And actually, Stacy, that's how she got one of her contracts. They called her and was like, can you do? And said, she didn't even bid on it. They just asked. She's an 8-8 though. So they just called her like, come in and do it. So the guy told us in less than 2 weeks later, it literally happened.
When did they start?
Around September, August, September. He's like, oh, we started getting the contracts out. He said, we don't have time to process them. He's like, we know a firm say that they do it. It's like we start handing out. Start handing out each one of the loans. Yep. He's saying it comes in to be beneficial to have the things. Okay, they looking through the things. They're like, oh, you this. You got a good capability statement. There's all the terminology and stuff we started on regards to everything too. So a couple things, steal the names as far as your homework assignment and stuff. You can't sit there and go from all of it. She looks at it and goes, oh no, they can change the name. It was my fault. When I listened to the video, I realized I did say she named it a firm. And she was like, I've not seen a firm. And I was like, oh, I make mistakes. Because actually, it took me about 2 weeks to get used to saying the word firm. Because she was one always to say, well, government firm. I'm like, what's a firm? She said, man, I knew what it was. But I'm like, why do you keep saying firm? She's like, that's what the government calls a company. I was like, a company? She's like, no, firm. So, but we working through, I'm trying to get a better understanding. And wait until she said, think about the size table. And I start getting a better understanding of why she's always trying to lean for a particular way. She usually says identify 4 next codes, and one is usually facilities management and IT. Those are usually your primary two. Facilities management, yeah, and I need to make sure, because sometimes it says facilities something else. Facilities management and the size table is like $55 million. You make up to $55 million for small. And IT is another big one too. You make a bunch of money and they still won't say you're a small. Great problem to have. make it.
So I understand that all of these sports teams are created as nonprofits.
Sadly, she said all the sports teams are created as nonprofit. The NFL is actually a nonprofit.
Yes.
Oh, nobody knew that? So
That's why the white
stipend on those dollars, because they're still registered as a nonprofit. What do we have to do?
Now, her question is actually a great question. That was the person we were trying to get here to. Jackie Epps, that was at the first thing, the first conference we had here. Jackie, when she